employee or entrepreneur? Which is riskier?
You know, it may not be the same as it was in the past. Stay tuned to find out what the difference is.
Tips to be your best with the professor and Mary-Lynn for your big success.
Hi, my name is George Kruger, aka the Professor.
And I'm Mary-Lynn, and we love sharing entrepreneurial principles that you can apply to your life.
And so today we're going to talk about this difference between employees and entrepreneurs. Most people obviously assume that it's less risky to be an employee. I think we're taught that almost from the time we're old enough to get our first job.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the employee is the entrepreneur who has to take all the risk, right? And then, the employer is what I meant to say is the entrepreneur that has to take the risk, and you as the employee work for the entrepreneur.
That's what we tend to think. But here's the thing: entrepreneurs are excellent risk minimizers, and so it's important to understand that, because when we really boil it down, for the most part, these terms, entrepreneur or employee, really are just labels. And they're all about the contract between you and somebody else, whether that person is a customer, if you're an entrepreneur, or an employee, or your employer, if you're an employee.
Okay, so let's talk about the difference that a label makes.
Well, so entrepreneurs, among other things they do, entrepreneurs are really good at kind of cutting through all of the noise and all of the murk and mud and all this stuff that kind of keeps us from seeing things clearly, and they get right down to the essence of the relationship. And when we do that, we realize that your job is a business. You are in business, whether you like it or not. It's just how it's contractually labeled. So if you're an employee, you're in a service business, okay? So as a service business, you sell your time and your talents for money to your employer. But the question is this: let's think about this. How many customers do you have? And before you answer that question, let's just pretend that I'm an entrepreneur, Mary-Lynn, and you're an employee. Okay? So I'm an entrepreneur, and let's just say I have 10 customers, each of who provides me 10% of my income, and my income equals your total compensation as an employee. Okay? So I've got 10. Now the question is, as an employee, how many customers do you have?
I have one.
Do you get that? Who's your one customer? Your employer. Okay? And people don't think about this, and when I ask this to my students, they often will say 0, they'll say hundreds, they'll say however many the firm has, and these are all ways of thinking about this. But when we're really thinking about risk, you have one customer. Okay? So now, Mary-Lynn, let me ask you something. Well, I'll do it for myself first.
Okay.
If I'm the entrepreneur and one of my customers decides they don't want to keep doing business with me, okay?
That's a bummer.
I lose one, okay?
Okay.
Now, Mary-Lynn, what happens if you lose one customer?
I'm out.
That's it, exactly, right? So that's the whole point to understand, is that 10% of the entrepreneur's income is at risk, but 100% of the employee's income is at risk. And so entrepreneurs believe that one of the financial principles we hear about all the time is we got to be diversified. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. Now, coming up sometime in the future, we're going to talk about when it is right to put all your eggs in one basket. But entrepreneurs realize that they don't want to put all their eggs in the one basket of their employer.
Now, okay, there are some protections, though, for the employee.
Yes.
There's employee unemployment.
Yes, unemployment insurance, right?
Right.
So is that your biggest thing, is you get unemployment insurance if you're an employee versus an entrepreneur? Okay, we've got unemployment insurance through our employer. Why don't we just self-insure? That's an emergency fund, right? If we've got enough money in an account to last us for
that's
12
more and more
months.
expensive these days, but
yes. But then the other thing is this: just understand, and this is totally the way entrepreneurs think. It is not an either or. It can be an and. Why don't you keep your one customer, and then I start a side business, a side hustle, and I have more customers over here.
So you got a little backup.
Absolutely. So the key question to understand here is entrepreneurs are always asking this question: what can I try with no fear of loss? Well, if you can try something part-time, or if you can get a part-time job, anything you can do that diversifies your income is going to put you in a safer position, along with obviously, hopefully, adding income to your bottom line.
Do you want to learn more things that they don't teach you in school? we've put together an ebook that the professor highly recommends you read, and you can find the direct link
Is that
to
your
it.
homework assignment?
What's that?
Your homework assignment.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to give you homework.
Yes, your reading assignment quiz coming up. But you'll find a link to it with the description of this video.
And we thank you so much for listening to this video today.
Until next time,
Here's to your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.